Y'all already know where we at. We back in the studio, okay? We have the lovely Malik Rashod in the building, okay? Okay. Listen, we gonna let this play a little bit so y'all can get a little taste, okay? And this is Signs of a Scorpio, just released on his new project, Lovevalour. Ooh, I sound like we in the 70s. You know
I love it.
I love it.
Maybe it's yes or no, or maybe you're hot and cold, saying like the springtime is a soul, but you really blossom in the fall though. I can't help but wonder why you've got a hold on me, hold on me. Tell me why you love so hard but try to hurt me. The love spell you cast has got me drowning. Back in yourself, I see don't give up. Show me is rough, but had enough. It's the sign of a Scorpio. I think I better let you know. How many times we tried? Your love looks good on paper, and I don't know why. How many times you lie? Your imagination words come harder, cause your love is dry.
Ooh, we can't give them too much. They gotta go.
I was getting into it.
Okay, like literally when I heard that song, just like the intensity when that song first comes on, like it got the piano, it just gives you that like euphoric kind of like dreamy fairy tale like type shit. So
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So, listen, let me go ahead and do an introduction. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Classic Coco with Let's Be Real, the podcast. So excited for y'all to be joining another great interview with us in the studio. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just deep dive. We have Malik Rashod in the building.
Hello, everybody.
Like, let the people know, like, you're such a talented individual.
Thank you.
Where are you from? Like, who are you?
Okay. I often tell people when they ask me, and they're like, where are you from? I tell everybody, I'm from the 704.
Okay.
Because I feel that I've lived like 3 different lives. Mm-hmm. So when I was born in Shelby, North Carolina, actually, to be exact. Shelby is my hometown where I was born. My family is there. But before I could even start school, from like pre-K to 7th grade, I lived in Gastonia.
Okay.
And then from 7th all the way to about 10th, I lived in Shelby. I moved back to Shelby with my grandparents, and my mom ended up buying a home in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So from about 10th to 12th, I was back and forth between Charlotte and Shelby. So I feel like I've lived like 3 different lives. I have my childhood in Gastonia, friends I've like grown up with there, family and friends that I've met, you know, through living in Shelby, then having a totally different life, you know, here in the Queen City. So
yes. Okay, which city do you kind of like better, like Shelby, Gastonia, or Charlotte?
Well, they all have, they're different, you know.
Yeah.
Shelby's home. I'm always going to be a Shelbyan.
Right.
You can't take that away from me. I'm a true country boy, like Livermush, chitlins, all that kind of stuff. Like, so that's home for me. I mean, my family is there. I remember like growing up in like elementary, middle school, and actually wanting to live in Shelby because you go to school and everybody's like, oh, that's my cousin. Like, I never went to school with any of my relatives until I got, you know, further on. So Shelby has that thing. Gastonia, I feel like, was the bulk of my childhood. So there are a lot of memories there, especially starting out singing in the first choir that I ever sung in as a kid in church. And then Charlotte, I feel like that's when I started to grow up. I'm feeling myself. I'm dating, being grown out here in the Queen City.
Okay.
So
The city always
they offer different things.
Right.
It's different.
Yes. Well, listen, I grew up in Charlotte, but I was born in Fayetteville, but I've grown up in Charlotte all my life. I love Charlotte. Like, Charlotte has endless possibilities, especially with music, like the music scene. I'm deep into that. So it's just so many opportunities and people you can meet. So
it really is.
Yes.
It's up and coming, definitely.
Yes.
We're no longer baby Atlanta. That's
right. Listen, it's be some shit in Charlotte. Okay. So I know we're talking about your childhood and growing up, and I know you had actually did a piece that Gastonia was where you first started choir. Mm-hmm. So how were you introduced into music and performing as an artist growing up?
Yeah, so pretty much everyone in my family, they can either sing or they might play an instrument. Mm-hmm. I was blessed to do both.
Yes.
And so when I was probably in the first grade, my grandfather actually bought a piano for my grandmother for Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. My grandmother sung, her mother sung, they were in groups, her brothers, all of them sung. And so my grandmother never really played it or anything, mm-hmm. but I would go to church with them, and then I would come home and I would hear songs that the choir sung, then I'll just start playing on that piano. Mm. So that was my earliest memory of, music. Then I eventually started, my mom saw that I really liked music, so she put me in the youth choir at church in Gastonia. So I've always had, a connection with music, whether it being with family, whether it being in school, singing in choirs, but I was a shy kid.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I
was shy. I was like scared to kind of show, I guess that part of me.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think as well, I come from a family of like powerhouse singers. Imagine you come from a family of like people singing like Fantasia, Jennifer, and Casey and JoJo. Quartet, kind of music. Like, they are some powerful singers, so I always kind of feel like, I think I can sing, but I'm not as a powerful singer as them. So it took me a while to sort of come into my own to be able to get here, to be honest.
Right. Oh, that is awesome. So listen, I love it. I love it because, music is in you, and you blossom and grow when you music, because it's a lot. Like, do you know how to read music and all that?
I can sight read. I'm not an expert.
Okay.
I did go to the illustrious Winston-Salem State University, and I was a scholarship student on the Grammy-nominated Winston-Salem State Choir. So that's a part of, being a part of that choir, having at least some eligibility and knowing how to sight read. Not being an expert, but having a little, knowledge here and there. So, yeah.
Yes. Listen, I know we bouncing everywhere, but you just saying that, would you be interested in possibly writing music for an artist?
I don't know that I could write music for an artist. I would be open to exploring it.
Yeah.
I know for me, it's so personal
mm-hmm.
that I find it easier if I'm writing based on my own stories versus someone else.
Right.
Now, there are times where I'm with my friends. I'm with my cousin, who I love. She's right here in the room, y'all.
Hey, cuz.
My cousin Christy, I love her. There are times where, I'm having conversations with the girls, and something might spark in my mind like, ooh, I'm going to write a song about that. But I don't, when I write the song, I'm writing it with the intention that I'm singing it. I've never thought about the intention of, I'm gonna write this song for someone else's voice so that they're meant to sing it. But so that's a talent that maybe I do have. I just might need to tap into.
Yes, that'll be dope. But I like the way you put that though, because like when you're writing music as an artist, like you're gonna resonate with what you're going through and what you never know what someone else is going through. So it's kind of like, dang, I gotta put myself in their shoes and everything.
I say it just like this. Even with when you have stylists, I love fashion, everybody.
Period.
Shout out to House of Melange. That's my business. Get your life.
Oh, go shop.
But even with stylists, I always tell people the best stylist is someone that knows how to dress that person for that person, not what they would particularly wear.
Right.
It takes a talent to be able to know how to do that. And I see it the same way as writing songs. It takes a talent to be able to write a song for someone based on their experience. And for them to also be able to execute it once you do write it.
Exactly.
That's a talent.
That's facts. That's facts. So with going into music, who are some artists or genres that kind of influence your love for music?
Oh my gosh, so many people. I could be here all day. Okay, I'll start from the oldies, I guess. I really, really love Shaka Khan.
Okay.
She's one of
Ooh.
my favorite artists.
Yes.
I love funk music. I love Diana Ross, the Motown era as well. I really, really love. Let me see. Who are some other people? 90s. Toni Braxton. I really love her. There's a lot of influence, I feel like, from my songs. Toni sings a lot of sad love songs, and Lovevalour kind of remind me of that. So there's a lot of influence there from Toni and Tamar, I would say. I love them both. Who else do I really, really get into these days? I love the Clark sisters. I was raised in a church. I love the Clark sisters. I also love Jonathan Nelson. He's a gospel artist. So inspired by him and Donald Lawrence, who is actually from Gastonia.
Yeah.
People don't know that. But yeah, so my inspirations are drawn from everywhere. I mean, I love me some Beyonce. I'm Beehive down.
Okay, you are Beehive Nation.
I am Beehive
you
down.
are Beehive.
Then we just see Beyonce, and I like to say Kamala, and that's not the way you say it, y'all, but I like to say Kamala.
Okay.
But did we see Beyonce at the rally, child? She looked amazing. I love her, and I grew up on hip hop as well. My parents were big hip hop fans. My dad loved Tupac. I love Tupac. Both my parents love Jay-Z. Fun fact, I often tell people I liked Jay-Z before I ever liked Beyonce.
Oh wow.
You know, I didn't get into Beyonce until B-Day. That's the Deja
Wow,
Vu.
right.
Mind you, she had already been a Destiny Child. She had already did Crazy in Love.
Right.
But it was B-Day that snatched my edges and like, you know, really pulled me in.
Yeah, that definitely was a classic.
Yeah, for me, that was like prime childhood, right?
Yeah, that was like
Ring the alarm, freakum dress.
ring the alarm. I've been through this so long. So I be what? That was what when Diva was coming, that whole era like of us growing up definitely was like, okay, this is Beyonce.
I love her.
Yeah.
I also like the groups too. So I love Day 26. I love Jodeci. I love a lot of 90s music. Brandy and Mariah Carey are big, big influences for me as well. I love stacking the vocals, and we get that from them. We're all learning from Brandy and Mariah.
Yes.
So yeah, so many people I would say I like to pull from.
Yes. So with your music choice, I feel like your energy was probably in the 80s, 90s. Like you were definitely there. For real.
I really do. I love 70s, 80s, 90s music. I love nostalgic music. I love feel-good music. And Lovevalour isn't, I won't say it's a feel-good album.
Yes.
It's a sad kind of love song kind of thing. But naturally, those are the songs that I gravitate towards, that feel-good music.
Listen, I am so ready to deep dive into Lovevalour, but we gonna creep up on it before we get into Lovevalour, because I have a lot of questions as far as the inspiration and where that name came from.
Okay.
But going back, so growing up in the church, how did that impact your life at such an early age?
Oh my gosh. I would say it helped with performance, vocal performance, being able to get out in front of a crowd and sing and people watching you and, you know, not getting nervous.
Yeah.
Learning how to improvise. One thing that I have not been the greatest at is remembering lyrics. So,
really?
You know, when you forget your lyrics, what are you going to do? Are you going to ad-lib? Are you going to, like, what are you going to do? Learning how to kind of improvise in those moments.
Yeah.
I tell people the church is practice for you to get to a place. If you are wanting to be a performer or a singer, is great practice grounds for
right. Right. Because there's no judgment in the church. Well, it's not supposed to be any judgment in the church.
That's all right.
Okay. Be like, it's okay.
That's all right.
You know, church people, it's to be somebody that can't sing. People like, yes, girl. Yeah. Go ahead. So, yes, I definitely love it. I actually grew up in the church as well myself. So I feel like that growing in the church is definitely where a lot of artists can blossom and where they start, you know, because so you could a soprano, alto, or tenor, or just a tenor?
You know, the older I get, the deeper my voice is becoming.
Okay.
But like, I can, if we had a choir right here, right now, I can give you y'all parts.
Right.
Sopranos over here, my altos over here, I can give you y'all parts.
Right.
But I would say more alto, tenor, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little variety. I like it. I like it. So what inspired you to start making music, and how has your journey evolved since then?
Yeah, so I would say probably like my junior year of college, which is like 2016, 2015, 2016, I started to see a lot of people at Winston do their EPs, do their own music. my close friend, Tremaine Moore, he actually had a great idea to manage artists at one point. And he actually put on an artist showcase our senior year of college. And he just kept on like, you could do this. Like, you can have your own music. Like, if they can do this, like, you can do it.
Most
so he was
definitely.
my biggest motivator. So that's what kind of started the grounds of me, wanting to do music. It took a while to get there because we're talking about 8-9 years ago. Praise the Lord. But that's what kind of inspired me, seeing everybody kind of do that. You know how it was at Battleground.
Definitely.
All the kind of different, events we would have, and they would give a lot of opportunity for artists to really shine and do their thing. So I saw that happening for so many people, and I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can sing.
Okay, period.
I can actually sing. I can hold a note up.
Period.
So, yeah.
So, okay. So Homecoming November 9th.
Yes.
And you're releasing your project on the 1st.
Yes.
So we're just going to fast forward to next year. Would you kind of want to be at Homecoming since Winston is kind of where you started? Would you want to be like, okay, I'm an artist now. Like, let me perform.
You know what? I haven't even thought that far.
Do it.
I haven't even thought that far, but that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I'm sure by then I'll have like more music too.
Yes.
So, like, I do feel like I still have some development to go. There's more than being an artist than just getting in the studio and laying down a record.
Exactly.
You need to be able to perform those songs. You need to be able to be in settings like this.
Right.
For people to answer questions and whatnot. So I have a little ways to go, but that's not something that I'm closed-minded to.
Yeah.
Not that far. That's a good idea.
Yeah. You should definitely that should definitely be like a part of your like next year goals. Cause I also asked you like, what can you see yourself doing in the next year? But yeah, like
absolutely,
it's all development because a lot of people like I work with artists. I work with artists currently. So some artists, they can't even do an interview. They don't know how to talk. Like, you know how me and you were kind of bouncing.
Yeah.
People will sit there and be like, yeah, I heard it.
Oh, I love this.
You'll be like, okay, like that's what an artist is, like being in music, be able to like express yourself, branding, marketing, like it's all a part of the package.
Absolutely,
it's all a part of the package, and you're doing what you need to do.
Thank you.
Okay, period.
Thank you.
So, what did the initial process of your EP Lovevalour look like, and what was the inspiration behind it?
So, like I said, I got the idea probably my junior year of college. From there, I started going in the studio with a lot of different people. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, what you think you're going to get out of something is just not it's not giving what it need to be given. So I went through a lot of that, to be honest. I went through so many people like, oh, I'm going to help you. And I get in the studio, they don't even know what they're doing. They're used to recording rappers. I'm talking about stacking vocals. They're like, oh, you doing too much. Like, don't even know kind of what they're doing.
Right.
I had a lot of battling with that. People who I gave money to for projects that are not out and that I don't have the music to this day. Hello, we're not talking about chump change. We're talking about, thousands of dollars from Winston. I ain't gonna throw the shade at them, but yeah.
What?
Yeah, so it took a lot.
Yeah.
Not only that, after college, I ended up moving to Fayetteville. I stayed there for a year. I worked with a person there. Just wasn't the best product, I felt like, as far as, when a person, if you've ever been in the studio, when a sound engineer knows what they're doing.
Right, exactly.
When you hear yourself, you go in there and you sing and then you hear it play back, whether or not they know what they're doing.
Right.
If you're a true singer, you're going to already come and do what you need to do.
Exactly.
So it's going to take someone that has the ability to mix and master tracks to make it give what needs to be given.
And they got to have that ear.
Yeah.
They got to have the ear.
They have to have an ear. And so I worked with some people out in Fayetteville, didn't work well at all. I went to California, worked with a couple people there. Did not work for me. A lot of what I dealt with was people trying to tell me who to be, how to sing, and how to do it. Being an openly gay Black male, I think in going into spaces where, I don't know if I can say this word, but it's a bunch of niggas.
Right. No, this let's be real. Yeah, we go. Yeah,
they smoking. They got bitches walking around.
Right.
And, it's not an environment where there's people like me walking around, church boys. So I think I kind of went back to that shy little boy and questioning myself, like, dang, I mean, they're telling me I should sing like Chris Brown, but this one said I should sing like Luther, but this one said I should, so it kind of made me self-doubt myself. And it turned what really should have been maybe a 1-year process into 7 years for me. Like,
right. Wow.
And the inspiration, I would say, from Lovevalour is just love, my journey of love, and where I've been in love through signs of the Scorpio, dating Scorpios, child.
Are you a Scorpio?
I'm not.
Really? Oh, the T. Hold on, the T. Because I'm thinking you were a Scorpio. So wait, signs of Scorpio.
I love that you got that from the song, though.
Yes,
that
I
just
did.
shows that the song can be pulled in so many different narratives. And people have told me, like, oh, you talking bad about Scorpios, but then I hear other people be like, no, I hear that you're talking good, like you're addicted to them. I'm like, I love that everybody is drawing their own conclusions to how it resonates with them.
Yes.
I am not a Scorpio now. I'm a Pisces. Get your life.
Oh my God. Okay, so T. Wait, signs of a Scorpio. So is signs of a Scorpio basically about a Scorpio that you dated and
a plethora of Scorpios?
Oh wow.
Not only that, I'm a Pisces. So if you are really into zodiacs, astrology, and all of that, then you would know that Pisces and Scorpios are soulmates.
Yes.
They make great friends. They make great, partners or whatever in life. And so not only had I had the experience of dating a lot of Scorpios and the disappointment in that, but also, being friends with a lot of Scorpios. My cousin is sitting right here. She's a Scorpio.
Okay, girl.
A lot of my close, Ronika, shout out to Ronika, her birthday is coming up. She's a Scorpio.
Hey.
Jermaine's a Scorpio. There's a lot of friends that I have. Simone Price is a Scorpio from choir. I love her. So many of my close friends are Scorpios. So I've had, experiences both good and both bad and all in between, I would say.
Wow. I'm mind blown right now.
And that's what the song comes from. Maybe
yes.
You're hot and cold. Maybe it's yes or no. Like,
yes.
That's a lot of what I deal with my Scorpio friends. They're like, I don't know if I'm playing a birthday. Then somebody be like, okay, I'm gonna do this for my birthday.
Right.
I just got the phone with Ronika, and my cousin Christy over here is laughing because she does this, y'all. I just got the phone with Ronika. She did the same thing. I was like, I said, you, Tremaine, Chrissy, Simone, y'all are the same person.
Yes.
Y'all
wow.
so up and down. But I love them. I love them so much.
Yeah, Scorpios, I'm a Libra. So Scorpios, I've hosted an event with a Scorpio for 3 years. I've dated a Scorpio before in my life. Scorpios they're freaks. They're big freaks.
Yes.
Okay. They're
so
freaks in the sheet.
Spirit.
Okay.
I done had plenty times that I had to pray over myself.
Okay.
I'm telling you, this song is different than what people know.
Oh my God.
Like, I done had many sex stars that I had to be like, you know what? I need to cleanse myself.
Yes. Like, let me get the stage.
Yeah.
Scorpios a lot to deal with, though.
They are. They're good people. I do. But when they get nasty, they can get nasty.
Yes.
Let you know what time it is.
Yes.
I love them, though. I can get down with it because I feel like as a Pisces, as a water sign, we're both Pisces and Scorpios are water signs.
Yes.
So I can get down with it. It don't do me no. Like,
right.
You go low, I can go lower. Let's do it.
We're going to
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. So I love it, though. I love them. I think I often tell people my biggest pet peeve is feeling misunderstood. And I feel like that can be with Scorpios as well. They're often misunderstood because not all of them are, just bad people or deceitful or whatever, but sometimes they can sometimes they can be a bitch.
Right.
Sometimes, but we all can.
Yes.
It's a part of, being a human.
Exactly. Oh my God. I love that.
Thank you.
Seriously. So where did you get the title Lovevalour from?
Yes, Lovevalour. So I went through a lot of titles, first of all. I went through so many different titles. First it was self-titled. Then I was like, no, this is not giving a self-titled project. I'm not ready for that yet. And how I came with Lovevalour, actually before it was self-titled, it was something about a Piscean journey. And before I came to Lovevalour, I just started doing a lot of research. And I thought about my songs and I thought about who I am. I'm a gay man. I love God. I work in HR.
Yes.
I'm this multifaceted type of person. I have my own retail clothing line online. I do a lot of different things. And so I started to kind of do research into what that looks like. And I came across a movie. And it actually used to be a Broadway play called Lovevalour Compassion.
Oh, wow.
And this was a movie. It was a Broadway, I believe, as well, where it talked about the lives of several different guys. Think of like a show like Girlfriends.
Yes.
And it just talked about where they were in love, where they were in their friendships, all the ups and downs that they sort of went through. And velour is actually an Italian word as well. I work for an Italian company. So it just kind of felt befitting for me. I didn't want it to be something that like
too far-fetched.
Yeah, too far-fetched, but I wanted it to be chic.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, I thought about all those things, but I went through so many titles.
Yeah.
I also work with an investor. People don't know this, who actually helps me with some of my music and pays for it on the front end. And
that is okay.
God is good. God is good.
Period.
They pay half of the portion for my music, and I do the rest. But, also working with this person as well, because they're not going to give me the coin if they don't agree with the vision.
Yes.
So I really worked hard. I did a lot of research. I didn't want to just put something out.
Right.
A lot of times you see people, they create an album or a song, and it's like, oh, well, when did you start singing? Or it's like you just woke up one day and said, okay, I'm going to sing.
Right.
And they don't really go into the detail of the name and the meaning and it having detail behind it, having some sort of historical context behind it. And I wanted to make sure Lovevalour did that. So that's how I got there.
I love it. Love it. Because that's one thing, like rushing projects is one thing that artists like, oh, I got to put something out. I haven't put content out, and people rush things and the marketing isn't right or you don't have the branding together. So I love that. I really, and you have the photo shoot, like your branding is on point for Lovevalour, like everything. So
Thank you.
Period. So, and the next question was, you just released Signs of a Scorpio. Tell me about that song and the message. So listen, we got to go back to this real quick. Because Signs of Scorpio, it was a little teaser for Lovevalour that you were going to be releasing on November 1st.
Yes.
So do you feel like this is like kind of one of your favorite songs or top 3 or how?
You know what's crazy? And I feel like everybody says this when they put out a song, but it changes. My favorite song changes every day.
Oh, wow.
Depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I kind of did that. When I made the music, I did that intentionally because I wanted something that everybody could relate to.
Right.
Something that everybody can pull from. So I know I'm like that when it comes to music. I want to listen to what I feel like at the moment, like what's going to connect with my emotion and my feeling.
Right.
So there's some days where I'm like, F that nigga, like Signs of a Scorpio.
Okay, period.
There's other days where I'm like, you know what? Like, no, like I want to feel confident. I want to pull up. Well, I'm going to have to go out with my friends. I ain't thinking about no relationship. I ain't thinking about no disappointment, rejection, all that. I want to have a good time and I want to turn on a little pull up.
Yeah.
Then there are times where I'm like, you know what? I need to be done with these niggas.
Yeah.
I need to be done with them. So lights on, on, like I'm done. Like there are times, where I just want to listen to, especially like in the morning. I love listening to like smooth R&B in the morning.
Yes.
Like neo soul, like Lettucey and stuff. Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, India Ari.
Oh, I love your vibe.
So yeah, when I'm in that kind of mood, or even Victoria Monet, I love Victoria Monet. That's when I want to listen to light songs. So depending on what kind of mood I'm in,
right?
But I feel like the lead single is clearly Signs of a Scorpio of all those songs. They're all great songs, but Signs of the Scorpio I feel like is a general popular kind of favorite song. Yeah, general population, I would say. So yeah,
I love it. I definitely, like I said, especially when you first cut on the song, just the feeling like you get. Like with me, it's just a feeling of just music. And you've also sent me some teaser songs, but definitely you knew what you was doing with this whole project. And I have to ask my signature question that I do with artists. So if you could use 3 words to describe you, and then also 3 words to describe a Lovevalour, what 3 words would you use?
This is a hard one. Let me think.
Oh,
Okay. 3 words. I'll start with me. I would say multifaceted. I would say considerate.
Okay.
And I would say ambitious.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that. Multifaceted, considered, ambitious.
Yeah. And then to describe Lovevalour, 3 words that I would use to describe Lovevalour, I would say empowering.
Ooh.
I would also say, I hate to say this word, I really do, but I would say sad. I would say sad.
Yes.
And I would just say overall emotional, because like I said, there's a pull up that makes you feel good, but then there's the lights on that makes you feel like, okay, like it's over, it's done. So emotions are kind of everywhere.
Right. Right.
Kind of like me, I'm multifaceted.
Right. Okay, period. So do you feel like Lights On is your favorite song? Or what is your favorite song on the EP, and what is the story behind it?
My favorite song, I told you, it's so hard for me to pick because it depends on how I feel. But I'll say right now, my favorite song is probably Lights On.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite song is Lights On. I love the words in that. I wrote that song. I wrote all my songs completely by myself, but I did have arrangers come in to maybe change up a few words or change up a few things in the arrangement of the songs. But Lights On, I solely did that. All me 100%.
Yes.
So it resonates with me a little more, and it's the closing of Lovevalour, and I think it's a great chapter ender, like as far as ending the record. And it talks about the disappointment, but then by the end of the song it says like, I've got to know my worth. I've got to know who I am. Right. I've got to move on. Show me the real you. Are you going to do that or not? Or we're over.
Yeah.
So I think it speaks to the person who I am now in a space where I'm more for sure of myself. Hence how I've been able to get here so far. To be honest.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Well, let's hear a little snippet of Lights On. All right. I'm not going to let y'all hear the whole thing.
All right.
Because y'all going to have to tap in November 1st. But this is a little snippet of Lights On.
Let's get into it.
Why you don't that?
Sometimes as people we change, nothing forever remains the same, no. Whether for love or for fame, it's just a part of the game. Lights on, turn the lights on. The show is over, frontin' on these people, baby. Show them the real you. Turn the lights on. The show is over, we're over. Oh, lights on. Turn the lights on. The show is over, frontin' on these people, baby. Show them the real you. Turn the lights on. The show is over, we're over. Oh, you said it's love.
Okay, that's all they get.
I love it.
Oh, I love it.
That's definitely my favorite right now. My grandmother loves that song.
Yes.
Most of the older people like that song.
Uh-huh.
I find like most of like Gen X and millennials like Sons of a Scorpio.
Yes.
So I wanted to make stuff that everybody could sort of pull from, and enjoy and get into.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite one.
Do you do voice training? Because you
I
went
don't.
from like you are really good with controlling your voice.
Thank you. That comes with years of singing.
Yes.
Years of
Oh
just
my
singing.
gosh.
I don't do voice training, but a lot of my friends who I went to school with are music teachers, music educators. That comes from being around them, being in that WSSU choir.
Okay.
Singing in choir. I tell people I'm the original choir boy.
Okay.
I've been doing this for a long time. And life is just such a full circle moment because I recently have gone back to my home church and rejoined their choir.
Oh,
and
wow.
rejoined the praise team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just so full circle for me. Like, it's crazy how life
it's a part of your roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I love that. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. Like,
Thank you.
the project hasn't even came out yet, but I just love what you have behind everything, and yet you planned, and it's like a baby. It's like,
It is.
You seriously.
I'm giving birth to her.
Right, child. We need, okay.
She's ready.
Okay. So what are some challenges? I know that you already said that you've been with some challenges as far as working with the right people, but what are some other challenges that you have faced, and how have you overcome them?
I would say, and I spoke about this earlier, not liking the sound of my voice. I hate to say that out loud because it sounds so crazy to people, but I dealt with that for a very long time. Like I said earlier, I had family who they're powerhouse singers.
Yes.
Her mom is one of them, actually, my cousin over here.
Oh,
They're
wow.
powerhouse singers. They have strong chest, what we call a chest register. Those are like when y'all think of the Fantasias and the Jennifer Hudsons who can belt out notes. And my voice isn't as strong like that. Not only singing that for my family, but also, being in choirs and, there's solos that come up. I'm like, dang, I want to sing that, but I'm too shy. Like, they sound like this. I wish I sounded like that. Like, why can't I sing like this? Or like, seeing other people comparing yourself, that's a bad trait to have, y'all. That will always set you back if you get to comparing yourself to other folks. So how I was able to really, I feel like, get over that hump. To be honest, I feel like I'm just now getting over that hump.
Oh, wow.
With creating Lovevalour. And it took me to, like I talked about, I worked with so many people in the past who clearly did not know what they were doing, or they were just in it for the wrong reason, not to help me. They didn't have my best interest. And once I found my sound engineer, my guy, my brother, shout out to Breeze, I feel like that helped me so much. I tell him all the time, like, you don't know how much you have helped me to believe in myself. So I think finding the right space, the right situation has kind of been able to help me get over that obstacle.
Yes, and every artist needs that, like a team that you can trust, because when you have people that are just around you and they don't want the best for you, or
or some people who, they just trying to get a coin.
Exactly.
You talking about you want studio time, and they want that coin. They're not thinking about, putting you in the best light or making sure they have your best interest. They just want that Cash App sound.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm grateful to find Breeze. I give him so much credit. Like, he has really helped me.
I love that. That's important. I always tell people, you listen, you got to find the right engineer, right producer. Because me, I only will record one person. Shout out Lord G. And I only get music. I only buy beats from one person. Super Mario. It's like, so you just got to have those people.
And most people are like that in the industry. There would be, without the dream, there will be no Beyonce.
Right.
That is who her sound person is. Without so many different people, who work in the industry, they all have that one person who they usually use, whether it's for writing, whether it's for sound engineering, whether it's for creative direction, all of that. You have to find your team of folks. And once you kind of do that, everything else will fall in line.
Period. So at Lovevalour, how do you want your music to impact your listeners?
I always said I wanted to. It's so crazy because initially I wanted to make like trap soul, ratchet music.
Yes.
Stuff like hold up. I wanted to like do I wanted to do that. Like, I wanted to do that type of music. And so I finally came to the conclusion after trying that type of music for so long that it's just not for me. And I want to make music that I feel like can stand the test of times.
Right.
When I think of singers like Donnell Jones and Case and so many of those R&B guys from the early 2000s, Music Soul Child, I was just telling my friend Monica today, we still listen to those songs, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I take it as, I'll give you a great example, and I told my cousin this early as well today. Tamar Braxton is one of my favorite singers, do not get me wrong. She calls it her first album, but it's actually her second album. It's called Love and War. Y'all know the big song she did, Love and War, but she actually has a song on her album as well called Hot Sugar. That's more of a like R&B kind of trap pop song with rap influence, but Love and War is going to stand the test of time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're going to be singing Love and War and All the Way Home for 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Right.
She'll be able to tour off just those two songs alone. She ain't going to be dropping it like it's hot and singing no Hot Sugar.
Right, that's facts.
So I had to come to that conclusion with myself, like, okay, you got to put something out that people are going to be able to gravitate to for years to come.
Right.
That's how we got Signs of the Scorpio, to be honest.
Yeah.
That song is actually 4 years old. I recorded that song.
Really?
about 3 or 4 different times. There's like 3 or 4 different versions of that song. One is very, very slow. Another one is upbeat, kind of ratchet. And then we got to the version that we have today.
Wait, so what? That would be really cool. That just gave me an idea. That'd be really cool if you put out maybe like a part 2 and with all those versions.
With a different version?
That'll be fire.
You think so?
That'll be fire.
I'm gonna think about that. Somebody did tell me that because I recorded so many songs. I actually counted yesterday. I've been saying it's 26, and this guy who I worked with in California was like, "No, bro, we recorded over 30 songs ourselves." I actually counted, and I have recorded in the 7 years that I've been doing this 55 songs in total. So I have a friend that was telling me, he was like, you need to at least do a deluxe version. There's still songs you can pull from to make a deluxe version. Like sort of like Victoria Monet just did on the record. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do that.
Yes,
maybe we'll do a Lovevalour 2.
Right, deluxe version. Okay. So, what advice would you give an aspiring artist who wants to create their first project?
You need to be for sure of yourself. Don't go into it thinking you're going to be Beyonce, because only Beyonce can be Beyonce.
Okay.
Only Future can be Future. Only J. Cole can be J. Cole. You need to know who you are. Don't be trying to go in there and be somebody else and sound like somebody else, because if you are, with it not being authentic, it's going to come out in the music, and people, it's going to sound cheap. It's not going to sound good. So that's the first thing. Know who you are. Definitely find the team. Find your sound engineer. Work with several different people. Don't just lock in with one person until you find that one person who you're supposed to be with. Don't lock in with your first person that you ever work with in the studio, because that might not be who you need to be with. Right. So be open to working with different people. It would help if you know how to write your own music. That does help. If you don't, be able to perform it and execute it. Yes. If you can't write it, because everybody's not a writer. Everybody is not, going to be able to be the Mariah Carey and write all their own songs. And that's okay. Some people will need extra help. Some people will be like people like Beyonce, who she used several writers. She writes her own music, but she does have people come in to sort of help her write some of that music, and people give her a lot of flack for that, having all these songwriters on her albums. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you can execute it, that's all that matters. Exactly. That's all that matters. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yes. So I know we spoke about Beyonce.
Yes.
Who would you like to collaborate with as an artist, dead or alive?
Okay.
Who would it be and why?
An artist, dead or alive. I have to pick one.
We could do 2.
2 artists that I would like to collaborate with. I would love to do a song with Luther Vandross.
Oh,
I really love Luther.
Yes,
Luther as well. And then another person, I would say, I'm trying to think of something that makes sense as well. This is going to throw people off. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind doing a song with, I was going to say Toni Braxton, but that's just too much of a given. I'm going to actually say Normani. I really love Normani.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's different.
And she's very underrated. Like,
her and, what is his name? Khalid?
The KHALID.
Yeah.
Khalid, yes.
They had a great record together. I'm like, I could do something like that.
Right. Okay, period.
Yeah, so I love her. Shout out to Normani. My story actually correlates a lot with her and her struggle with, getting her music out and believing in herself. I love Normani. Shout out to Normani, girl. Call me.
Yes. Okay, Luther Vandross, Normani, if y'all see that. Okay. Okay, well, we're going to speak that and manifest that in the energy, because that is going to come to be. Yes, all right? Lord. All right. So what's next for you? Like, where do you see yourself in 2025?
Working on music. And you know what's crazy? After I did Lovevalour, first of all, I started working on some of these songs. Mind you, some of them were old. But I started back working on this in the springtime of this year.
Mm.
And then I finished up early fall.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so tired because I work 40 hours a week as an HR manager,
Okay.
9 to 5. And, you know, when you work a 9 to 5, and you got to go home, make sure you got something to eat. You might want to go to the gym. You got to go to the studio. You look up, it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
You've had a 15, 16-hour day.
Right.
Easily. So this did tire me out. I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
It did. Like, it was a lot of days where I called my cousin, like, girl, I'm so tired. I'm so fatigued. And she's like, girl, boy, you need a break. And I had been saying that, I haven't told her this. I have been saying, yeah, I'm going to take a break. Like, November going to come and I'm going to take a break. But girl, I'm ready to get back in the studio.
Okay.
Already.
It's the energy for me.
I'm ready to get back. So I think 2025, to answer your question, I want to work on a second EP.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these songs on Lovevalour, they were sad love songs. And so I'm going to be 30 next year.
Yes.
I want to feel liberated. I want to feel happy.
Yes.
I want some, you know, it'll be 30 and I was born in 1995. There's been a reemergence of like 90s R&B. I want to feel that good, like that good.
Yes, that good feel,
Yeah,
like
that
kind of
good
like
feels
pop
coming
vibe.
in.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get back in the studio. I do want to do some performances. I do want to do some visuals, some like maybe some live visuals. From
Right. Oh, we
Instagram.
need some visuals.
Yeah, I do want to do some of those.
Yes.
I do have visuals
Yes.
for this project, actually. But I'm not going to say that. I don't know if I'm going to really let them come out. I don't know.
Oh, no. We need
I don't know how I
them.
feel about it.
We need them.
I feel like, you know, we live in such an instant gratification.
Yes.
Like, it's time to work on something else. Like,
Right.
people come out with something and then, like, the next year they're out with something else.
Right.
Albums don't last as long as they used to.
Yes.
Music does not last as long as they used to. People used to couture albums for like years.
Right.
Now it's like very much summertime. That's it. Like
Right.
on to the next thing.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know. I'm kind of in that space. Although I do know I need a break, but I'm in that space. I feel like I want to go back to the studio.
It's like a high. It's like a
Yeah.
euphoric high. Like it's
Yes.
just like a, oh my God.
Yes.
What's next? It's like,
Like,
sit your ass down.
I've
Like,
already been listening to beats and producers.
Right.
Jordan.
But
Who
that's
just made that
good.
Summer Walker track. I've been
Oh,
looking at his stuff. Oh my God.
a
He got
fool.
some good beats, some good feel good music. So yeah.
Yes.
I'm ready to get back in the studio. Maybe we'll do some performances here and there.
Right. You know, I have an event, so I have to invite you out.
Let me know,
So
girl.
yes,
Let me
because we
know.
need that. We need that. We need that. So y'all see it. Y'all hear it. If you're not already excited for Lovevalour, like, what are you doing? November 1st. Make sure you tap in. Malik, tell them your socials. Where can they find you? Where can they find the EP Lovevalour?
Yes, so the EP Lovevalour is going to be available, like you said, on 11/1 Friday. This Friday coming up on all major platforms: Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. It'll even be on SoundCloud and YouTube, child.
Period.
You can get it just about anywhere.
Right.
As far as my socials, you can keep up with me mainly on Instagram at Malik Rashod. That's MalikRashod. That is my socials on everything from Twitter to Snapchat, Facebook as well. And for bookings, make sure you guys email at me at admin@rossgroveentertainment.com.
Okay.
We do weddings, we do funerals, we do it all, baby.
We do it all.
We do it all. Make sure to
Oh,
check
and shout
right.
out the brand, your clothing brand as
Thank
well.
you. House of Melange is coming back, you guys. It's coming back right in time for Christmas. I'm excited about that. I worked really hard on House of Melange.
Yes.
That led me here as well to be able to put out Lovevalour. So
Yes.
I'm excited about
Oh,
everything.
I'm excited too.
Thank you.
And thank you for just coming on Let's Be Real the podcast, just expressing your individuality,
Yes.
you as a person, an artist, a creative, and just as an entrepreneur. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
it's so refreshing. Like,
No,
for
you've
real.
been doing your thing too, Miss.
Thank
Thing.
you.
She got that music, and there was a song. I wasn't gonna say this, but there was a song I was recording when I do my little trap music, and I was like, I'm gonna see if I can put Coco on this. Right?
Listen, I'm ready. I love to be in the
It's
studio.
called Tell Me, and the people love Tell Me.
Listen.
They're like, why didn't you put that? I'm like, y'all, it just don't go with Lovevalour. It don't. Like, I had to let you listen to
the
it.
next part, please send me that, because I would gladly. I love getting in the studio. It can be 3, 4 a.m. I'll be up at until 7 at some time.
Oh,
So just let me know.
I got you.
Hey.
you so much for
Of
this opportunity.
course. Thank you so much. And we got to take our little shot.
Oh,
we
yes.
got to.
Oh, yes.
This is to Lovevalour, the
Lovevalour.
success
Ding, 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 ding,
and more
ding.
projects. Hey, it's your girl, Classic Coco. Let's Be Real, the podcast. We are out.
Bye.